The Chargers charging can't just be the cap.
It's the Chargers, man.
Hello, world, and welcome back to Gridiron Campbell, the only podcast that puts its money where its mouth is. I'm your host, Rich Ryan, and I'm joined by the entire collective, the Disciple, Brett Colson, Donnie, DP Peters, and the resident moose himself, Mo Nawara. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Listeners, please subscribe and rate and review on your podcatcher of choice. 5 stars only, like George Pickens, who we will need to make a couple of plays in this game because for the first time in a very long time, and I think only the third or fourth time in collective history,
the collective chooses the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I'm on mute. Holy moly. We've got Thursday Night Football, which means our card has already been submitted. Poor Donnie is in the desert. He's got the weight of the world on his fingertips, has to put our card in. I screw up. I didn't do our confidence points. I didn't do my confidence points. So we had a card, and then we had a swap, and it's all in. Mo, you're trying to shoulder the blame here, Mo, if something bad happens. It's 7-3 currently. Mo keeps saying we're going to lose. This is a loon.
This is my fault. I know it's my fault. I did this. I wanted this on the card.
Oh.
I love the Steelers. Rich is off the podcast. Yeah, just to explain to the people so they know who to get mad at when the Titans win the game by 1, whatever this is going to end up being. But yeah, I really like the Steelers, and Rich and Brett supported me, so Donnie's along for the ride for this one.
I mean, you can't shoulder all of the blame. This is a collective pick. This was the consensus. It is a consensus. All 4 of us liked it. Brett is holding his breath over there.
I thought about throwing this at the bottom of my card just to keep it off, but I thought it wouldn't matter because I thought Mo was just going to put it on anyway. So I just threw this on my card because I did love the Steelers in this spot.
Yeah, I mean, we get the best number possible. This went to 3 by kick at very influential markets. It's Will Levis making his first road start on a short week against top 5. And for all the magic and tricks up the sleeve that we talk about Vrabel, Donnie, nobody does more voodoo tricks up their sleeve, random outcomes than Mike Tomlin.
I mean, the guy is king of random, sure. Okay.
So yeah, here we are. There's gonna be outbursts. There's gonna be shouting, and hopefully, hopefully, as we near the end of the pod, because this game will be probably entering the second half when we're done podding. The Steelers will have a comfortable lead and will be en route to a win and a cover. Mo is just this.
No, you know that's not true. They're already dropping passes. Multiple drops. Illume ushered the Titans down. You just get a sick feeling when you watch that first drive. 16 flags. Just that outrageous roughing the passer. I mean, Goodell is a puke.
By the way, most of us will be in Vegas this weekend. Donnie's in Vegas every weekend. Brett is like a 1% chance. Okay, we're crossing our fingers.
we need a miracle. I kind of hope I don't get a miracle. We're having we're having an old man medical emergency.
I'm rooting for no miracle. I don't want to see.
I mean, it's gonna happen eventually.
Yep.
Is it?
Why
I thought
not
they
now?
could break those things
Yeah,
up.
we might have to do that at some point. I don't know. We don't have to share the details with our audience.
I think
I will not be making the trip to Vegas.
The wisest of listeners might be able to surmise by that short conversation. But yeah, we'll be in Vegas. Initially, the spirit is to go to a game, right? And boy, did we pick a doozy. We picked a doozy last year with Rams Bucks. At least we saw Scum coin Brady on his last, I think that was his last fourth quarter comeback, which was pretty amazing. We got the guy next to us screaming
No, they had the one against the Saints, didn't they?
Saints one. That's absolutely right. But that was at least a fun game, and it was still like Kupp and Stafford and McVay, and it turned out pretty good. But I don't know, man. Giants, Raiders, everybody's fired on the Giants. Something O'Connell is starting for the Raiders. Tickets are insanely expensive because it's still a novelty for people to go to Allegiant. So we might just find a comfortable seat at a book and waste away for the entire day watching NFL football.
Can we still keep the Discord going, please? Just so I'm not missing out on all the fun.
Just crickets. Well, we'll have our whole community there still chatting.
That's true.
Away.
I'll hold the fort.
bit.ly/Discord moves to get in there. And yeah, let's get into the action. This is a game that we might not be able to see together because there's some red-eye action for flights on Sunday night. But it's one of the marquee matchups of the day.
The Bills make me wanna shout.
Brett's beloved Buffalo Bills travel to Cincinnati for Sunday night football in a rematch of the AFC divisional game from last year. And DP and Mo are all about those Buffalo Bills. DP, you are the highest. Born in Buffalo, you've got Bills in your veins, even though you turned your back on your entire family and community by rooting on those disgusting New England Patriots. But you've got the Bills in this spot. Tell us why.
Bills have a rest advantage. Don't really see why the Bills can't just move the ball at will on this Cincinnati team that I'm really... Listen, I feel like after last week, we were on the Bengals last week, right? Were we? I can't remember. But
yes, we were.
Yeah, and everyone's just like, yeah, they're going to the Super Bowl again. Like, just every week it just changes with the Bengals. Like, what are we doing here? They haven't done... I don't think they've done too great overall in the whole of the season. So, like, that's what I'm going to look at, not just one reactionary thing to last week. I mean, I don't know. I think this is maybe wrong team favored. I'm going to have Bills money line here. I already do. I don't see why. Money bet line, let's go. I don't see why the Bills just don't score like 30 points. This defense isn't that good that they're playing in the Bengals. I mean, what's the deal? Somebody explain it to me.
You can't go on a single platform that the Lines offers that features Mo Nuwara, written, audio, video, without him beaking about the Buffalo Bills this week. So, Mo, now that you're on the Gridiron Gamble platform, tell us why you're circling the wagons.
I mean, I don't really have that much to add, to be honest. Donnie said everything that I'm thinking. I mean, dude, the 49ers led the NFL in yards per play last week. They led the NFL. When is somebody going to tell me how Cincinnati is going to get a stop? That's what I want to know. How can Cincinnati get a stop? They can't stop anybody. This defense is dreadful. They have a 5.9 yards per play allowed. Second worst in the NFL. They're the second worst in the NFL. I mean, DVOA doesn't think they're that bad. It has them in the middle of the pack. But 17th is not a defense that you expect to stand up to the Buffalo Bills offense. So, I don't know. I don't have a lot of confidence in the Bills defense, but I at least know they're going to cause some havoc and get a couple sacks, maybe get after the quarterback. Like, they could at least stop some drives like that. I don't know how Cincinnati's going to get stops.
So Will Levis is going to give us one, guys. For those watching on YouTube, oh my God. These two plays consecutively. Will Levis just threw the ball backwards. Sidearm, submarine, just threw the ball backwards. And on the next play, somebody's wide open for a 20-yarder. This game is already on crack. But Will Levis is going to give us one. He has no idea where he is. So a couple things, Mo. You are worried about the Bengals defense. What the hell are the Bills going to do on defense? Missing two of their most important players. And the Bengals are back, man. We can go fully back to our priors on Cincy. What we thought of Cincinnati coming into the season, you have to go 100% back to it. On offense.
I love that Bo is on like a 45 second
Is that the 20-yard play?
I mean, someone beat the lineman in a quarter of a second, and he still completed that.
It's okay. Skoronski's coming off. There's just multiple O-linemen leaving the field for the Titans.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Mo, how are the Bills going to get stops?
I just told you. They can at least pressure the quarterback. Yes. They're still second in pressure rate, I think, or whatever.
Yes.
They have a pass rush.
Joe Shiesty.
Cincinnati has
Joe
nothing.
Shiesty's back,
Joe
though.
Burrow is not playing like he used to play. Like,
Well,
he's just not that good.
You must have missed the game last week because Joe Shiesty is back.
Last week. So you're like every other idiot out there who's just like, oh, one game he's back. Let's go Super Bowl.
He is, though.
Donnie's right. Everyone's just all in. Cincinnati.
Because he
He won
is.
game last week.
Because he's back. I don't know what to tell you. He wasn't Joe Burrow. He was hurt, and then he had a bye, and now he's healthy, and now he's Joe Burrow.
You just said it, though. We're fading a team off a huge win when they were in a great spot.
But you're getting no value here. This is saying that the Bills...
Of course you are. The line was Bills -1
and now it's
last
1.5. Congrats on your half point of meaningless value.
Well, I got 3, so you be careful over there.
Yeah,
that's true.
But I
And
think that's
good job.
correct.
Also, still Bills money line still
I
has
think
value.
3 is correct.
I think it could be.
We're gambling.
correct.
If you like the Bills, you're gambling on Josh Allen having a great game, which is not something
He will. He's against a bad defense.
you're besmirching.
Are we
You're
not?
besmirching Sweet Lou over there a little bit too much. Sweet Lou owns
Are we
Josh
not worried
Allen.
about this Josh Allen injury?
Yeah, and that guy's his whole body's hurt. He's gonna have a stupid one in this game because he always has a stupid one. Brett, yeah, I want to take your temperature on this. Are you just terrified, and that's why you took the Bengals?
I mean, I certainly get this from a contest play angle. I think the Bengals are going to be extremely popular here.
They both are.
Maybe. I think the Bengals will be more popular. What scares me and why I clicked the Bengals is this line could be 3 if the Bengals are truly back. We know this is not the same Buffalo team that we saw run through the league the first half of last season. Outside of one home win against Miami this year, this team has not been impressive against one of the softest schedules in the league to this point. And the defense has not been tested at all over the past several weeks. Trey White went down, Milano went down, Daquan Jones. They faced Tyrod, Mac Jones, Baker Mayfield, and now Joe Burrow. How are they going to get stops in this game? Pressuring the quarterback? Sure. But I think the Bengals are going to score a lot of points in this game. And Josh Allen, I'm concerned about Josh Allen and this offense. Are they going to be able to keep pace? I guess we'll see. This will be the true test for the Bengals. Are they really back? I guess we'll find out this weekend.
Let's move to a double sounder game. The Seattle Seahawks travel to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. This was a look ahead of 4.5. Opened 5.5. Opened 5. I'm seeing 5.5. And the contest has put a 6. So more action coming on Baltimore, according to Circa. And Brett and Mo are both taking the points with the road team. Brett, tell us why you're on Gino and them boys.
Yeah, look ahead on this was 4.5, and I don't know what the Ravens did last week to deserve that move to a secondary key number. Like, I'll credit the Ravens. They put it together. They're playing their best ball in years right now. But the market is showering this team with riches. They're being priced like the Eagles or the Dolphins and the Niners right now. And I can't get there yet with this team. I don't think they're at that level. So I think this is a great spot to sell this team at their absolute peak. Baltimore also a lot more beat up coming into this game. Injuries all over the field. I'm very curious to see what this injury report looks like on Friday. The big one for the Hawks is Tyler Lockett. I don't want to say that's a must for Seattle, but this offense is so reliant on his ability to create space and make plays downfield. They need that in this game. Last thing, my cap on the Hawks last week was Gino's inefficiencies under pressure and the Hawks' inability to protect him. He did throw 2 picks against Cleveland, but they were able to keep him upright far better than I expected. And the one thing Baltimore isn't good at is getting pressure around the quarterback. So I think Gino will have time to make throws in this spot, and this offense can click when that happens, as we've seen. I don't think this should ever be 6 points. So this is a clear Seattle.
I didn't make it clear, but when we submitted the Steelers, we had to submit all 5 games. And because of that, Brett, and an unclear injury report, that's why you didn't click the Seahawks, correct?
Yeah, Hawks was number 1 in my original card, but because we had to submit early, I went another direction.
Mo, pile on with Seattle.
Yeah, just basically what Brett said. It's just a point and a half too high for me. I mean, I get Seattle is not as good of a team as Baltimore, but I don't think the difference is greater than a field goal. That seems crazy to me. I guess Baltimore is just overrated right now. I mean, I don't know. There's some bizarre things happening with this Baltimore line. Like, I don't understand how Baltimore is only -4.5 against the Browns next week, but they're -6 here when Seattle was just -4 at home. Is it just they're pricing in divisional dogs next week? I don't get it, because the market just told us Seattle was better than the Browns and they outplayed the Browns. So why are they not a closer line here?
Could be Deshaun. Like, are they baking in Deshaun maybe for next week? I don't know.
I think my ultimate cap on this game was the line confuses me and the action confuses me anymore. I ended up just clicking Baltimore and putting it really low, because what's terrifying for me here is Geno on the road against an opportunistic defense. But I couldn't have no conviction on the Ravens. DP, you were closer to the fold on Baltimore, so I'll let you put a pin on this contest.
Yeah, I mean, it's still bottom half. I think I'm with you in the greater sense, Rich, but maybe a little bit more so in that I can't trust Geno. Like, I didn't really want to trust Geno. I had my concerns about Geno and the Seahawks offense coming into the season. You know, what Geno would we get? Are we going to get the Geno from last season at the beginning, or Geno from last season at the end of the season? I think we've seen more of Geno at the second half of last season, where he hasn't been that great overall. I certainly don't think that his offensive line is helping him, but yeah, I can't get behind him right here. I think I just need to see more from him. And then on the other side, I think the Ravens right now are just playing really well. So I think they can just get off against this Seahawks team. And if Seattle has a bad offensive day, it can just be a really rough outing for them.
Rams at Packers. The Rams were 1-point favorites on the look-ahead line, but then Matthew Stafford injured his thumb. I believe he injured it prior to the diving catch on the 2-point conversion, and he still caught it like an absolute boss. But he is trending towards not playing in this game, and Brett Rippon will be under center in his stead. And thus the Packers have steamed out all the way to 3.5 in real life. Circa is kind of splitting the difference, maybe adding some equity that Stafford does actually play, and they hung a flat 3. And Brett, you have the highest opinion on this game, and it is on those Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, I love the Packers in this spot. So much so that I'm considering piling all my survivor equity into Jordan Love this week. This is the first time all season the Packers look like the Packers. Clean injury report. Maybe the cleanest in the entire league this week. They're coming off that embarrassing division loss last week. Now they're back home. They face a lousy Rams squad that is now likely without its leader. The Stafford loss is massive here if he sits. Like, the Rams have survived on his chemistry with Cooper Kupp and now Puka Nacua. Now they have to start fresh with something. Brett, like, we know Rippon, he's been around for a while, but this dude has done nothing over his career. And even worse, like, if something happens to Rippon, who is this guy who's now backing up Brett
They
Rippon?
were so desperate that they tried to get Walford, and Walford was like, I don't want to go to Los Angeles.
Yeah, so who even is this guy? Like, this is a mess for the Rams. I think this should be well north of 3. As bad as Green Bay has looked, this is a great rebound spot and a confidence builder for Love, who should have his full offensive unit to march up and down the field against a Rams defense that generates zero pressure, ranks bottom 10 in the NFL in every pass defense metric. If Stafford does play, like, cool. We get leverage against a guy who has a thumb injury and can't grip and rip a ball effectively on his throwing hand. So I don't know what I'm rooting for more here. Stafford not playing or playing. I think it's good either way.
So this is a Rams passing attack that sucked with Stafford. 22nd in success rate, 23rd in EPA. And now we have something ripping on the road in Lambeau against a Packers team that's top half of the league in pressure rate and 6th in blitz rate, which it's one of those things where once you start sending some pressure from multiple angles, you can get a guy like Rippon seeing ghosts and throwing early and just making a complete mess of things. So I am in total agreement. I think this is a smash spot on Green Bay. One of those where I don't care it's a low total. I think the Packers can easily cover this, and the under still comes in because I don't know how the Rams string together first downs and have any kind of efficiency on a down-to-down basis on offense. Mo, however, who made a face during Brett's rant, likes the Rams this week. Tell us why.
I mean, what if Stafford goes? I don't know. I feel like Green Bay is so bad they can never be laying 3, to be honest. But maybe I'm wrong. Brett's putting together a convincing argument. I'm having a hard time imagining Brett Rippon moving the football on the road. That dude is really bad. I mean, we saw him in multiple spots. I'm pretty sure in multiple spots. Definitely a few different games where he played for the Broncos.
Yeah, there's a Broncos-Jets game.
He has 4.
I remember that one. That was Thursday night.
In the back of my mind.
He has 4 career touchdowns and 8 career interceptions. So he's very, very bad. Like, I'm not saying he's like bad because he's a backup, and backups are pretty much all bad. He's bad by backup standards, I think. So, yeah, not a guy I expect to get much done. But at the same time, if Matt Stafford goes, which does sound like it could, Stafford is a lunatic.
But like Brett said, then he's outdoors in the cold with a bum thumb. You know?
Yeah, but passing offense, though.
How are they going to have they don't have an efficient passing offense thus far. How is it going to be efficient with him?
And the man's
That's
got
the only thing they do remotely well.
But they don't do it remotely well. That's the thing.
Well, then I guess Packers should be minus 3.5. I don't know.
We move to the next game. My brain tells me this should be a divisional game. And it's funny because I thought last week Houston Carolina should also be a divisional game. I think it's just the rookie QB thing, even though Richardson's not in there. But it's Indy at Carolina. This was Indy favored by 2.5 on the look ahead, open 2.5, and is painted across the board at that number. And somehow, some way, I have the highest opinion on this game with those Carolina Panthers. To me, this is just back-to-back, pinch your nose, take the devil side here. It's gross. I'm not running to the window. I don't even know if the Panthers are a teaser candidate because their offense is so bad. Like, even getting it up to 8.5 with this total, I don't think I'm in love with. But I just got to stand by my principles. And you can't lay points with bad teams. You can't lay points with bad teams on the road. And you sure as hell, Brett Colson, can't lay points in that scenario with Gardner Minshew.
It is really gross, but I do like the Colts for a few reasons here. One, the Panthers won their Super Bowl last week. Like,
dude,
huge
did
weight
you see
lifted.
the videos of when Bryce was going to Jan?
Yes.
Our buddy Jan, who will be in Vegas, was so tilted at how happy the Panthers won.
That was a miserable game to sweat, and I couldn't even watch it. I'm so glad I didn't spend the money on Sunday Ticket this year because I would have had to watch that game. I struggled enough watching the little helmets go back and forth, 3 and out, every drive on my ESPN app. That was painful. Carolina's bad. What they're really bad at is tackling and stopping the run. And what do the Colts want to do in this game? They want to pound the ball with these running backs. This just feels like a game where the Colts can lean on the ground game, not put Minshew in spots where he can hand the ball over to the defense, and the Colts just escape with a reasonably stress-free win. I say that knowing that it is still Gardner Minshew and how this game could flip at any moment, but I trust that Steichen will get this team on the right track.
There's nothing stress-free with Gardner Minshew.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. I just want to say about that. So I think both teams combined may have had less yards per play in that game than Miami has for the season.
I think you're right.
It was close.
Around 8. Less than 8, I think.
But there were signs of life for the Panthers last week. It wasn't the Thomas Brown revolution that I thought might have happened. A little more up-tempo, a little more 11. But, like, Jonathan Mingo looked like an NFL player for the first time in a long time. That they had the one drive where they got to the 1 yard line and they did the right thing. They went for it. Didn't score the touchdown on 4th down, but like it was just, there were signs. It wasn't the absolutely completely dreadful experience that the first couple of weeks of the season were. So,
and I think that's why this isn't 3.
Yeah,
right,
for sure.
Otherwise, this would be 3.
If that touched 3, then the board would light up and money would be probably pouring in on Carolina. The final split game, another sounder here, as the Chicago Bears travel to New Orleans to take on the Saints. This was Saints minus 5.5 on the look ahead, open 6. And quickly after the Tyson Bagent experience on Sunday Night Football, which I think we nailed pretty much perfectly, this has steamed all the way to 9 points. It's 8.5 in the contest. And I don't care. Because Tyson Bagent does not meet the threshold to play quarterback in the NFL. They had that little cutesy-wootsy play-action bomb to start the game, and then literally every passing play after that was an absolute embarrassment. And now we have a very stingy Saints defense, which isn't going to give up a lot, and a Saints offense, which is going to eat between the 20s, and cross your fingers, they might throw some long ones to Rashid Shaheed, or else it's just going to be the Blake Group show again. But I still think it's going to be enough against a Chicago Bears offense that is completely bereft of any ability whatsoever. The only other person that had an opinion on this game that was close to mine is DP. DP, you have to pick up the shield for the Chicago Bears.
How? How is that possible? I mean, my only thing is kind of what you said there, Rich. The Saints are going to eat between the 20s, but can they actually freaking score? I have no faith in them ever scoring.
They can now, though. They've started giving all the snaps to Taysom. Taysom is their red zone antidote, dude. That dude's running in.
I just have PTSD from Derek Carr in the red zone, and I'm just like that. I see 8.5 on the other side, so I'll just take the 8.5, and that's the end of my cap for this one.
I don't blame you. I don't have much volition on New Orleans. I just can't. I mean, something Bagent needs to be getting double digits. I'm sorry. Something Bagent in this Bears offense, nonetheless. Like, he's not even on a good team with a good supporting cast. It's the damn.
But at the same time, you know how New Orleans just poops their pants all the time. So it's just like, I had to just put this at the bottom, even though I know New Orleans should win by 14, but I don't know if they will because it's the Saints.
All right, that's the split game segment. We'll take a short break, and it's time for some Lone Wolves. Lone Wolves, I've got a pair. Everybody else just has one. And we got to start Monday Night Football in the Meadowlands. You 3 idiots picked a team that has scored 3 offensive touchdowns the last 3 weeks. And one of them was the Philadelphia Eagles allowing them to score at the end of the game. This Jets team is a house of cards, absolutely primed to crumble. And they're going to crumble in this spot. Multiple offensive linemen missing. Probably a backup guard from Baylor who was signed off the practice squad last week playing center. Fingers crossed it's Joe Tippmann, who is also a guard that they moved to center and had very bad struggles snapping the ball in the preseason, which is why Connor McGovern was given the job over him initially. I don't know how the Jets get first downs in this game. In the last 3 weeks, they've had 38 third downs and converted 7 of them. How do they get first downs? How do they score? This is kind of like the Packers game to me in that I think this goes under the total, and I think the Chargers cover comfortable in this spot. But I'm a lone wolf, evidently. Mo, you're the highest on game grade. Tell me why.
Yeah, first of all, it could be a contest play if people are on the Chargers after a big cover. And Nobody wants to click on Zach Wilson, I don't think. But I feel like their defense can just keep this one close, man. I mean, why can't they? They've done such a good job against multiple
closest literally got to be like 13 points.
What are you talking about, man?
I don't think you
understand.
How are the
Chargers going to move the ball consistently?
I don't think you understand how bad this Jets offense is.
What? I mean,
how did they get to 10 points?
Why can't they get to 10 points? What are you talking about? Why can't they get to 17 points? The Chargers
score one touchdown a week. They score one touchdown a week.
You already know what's going to happen, Rich.
What's going to happen?
Monday night, everyone on social media is going to be like, oh, what the hell are the Chargers doing? This is the effing charge. Like, I just was like, yeah, this is when the Chargers blow it.
Yeah.
This is when they Charger.
That is
exactly what's going to happen.
Game.
It's going to be embarrassing. They just blew the doors out of the stupid Bears. We all saw that coming. Put up 30 points. Probably should have put up 50. Now they're going to go into the Jet Stadium and they're going to absolutely suck. We know that's how this happens.
Cram it with Eckler 30 times into that Jets defense.
Listen, I hope you guys are right.
On the road against a good defense, you trust the Chargers.
No.
Coached by Brandon Staley.
I trust any team that is competent in the NFL against the New York Jets. If you are an incompetent team, you're going to struggle against the Jets. If you are a competent team, you should be touchdown favorites against the Jets.
Okay, I want you to stop what you're saying right now.
The Chargers are borderline incompetent, okay?
Hold on one second.
Be really
are
good,
the Jets generational or not?
I think so, but
okay,
it doesn't matter.
Be fine. Then they're going to be fine here.
It's the same reason why I hate this Browns team, and I don't understand why you guys keep marching to the window to bet this Browns team. The good defense, bad offense team sucks. They suck.
The Chargers aren't that good.
The Chargers can move the ball just fine. They're 7th in offense EPA. They're going to be fine. It's going to be tough sledding against the Jets defense. I agree. But they're going to be able to score touchdowns because the rules allow you to in 2023. Sure. You can score offensive touchdowns. Good offense beats good defense.
The Jets O-line is as bad as you're making it out to be, though. Because Dwayne Brown coming back is big.
Dwayne Brown is a bum.
So? He's better than what they got, and then he moves everybody up to where they're supposed to be. Mekhi Becton gets to move back to right tackle.
Dwayne Brown is an awful
Max
football
Mitchell
player.
Gets to move back to guard.
He's 40 years old, and he's coming off of a very bad shoulder injury. He's a bum.
Max Mitchell gets to go back to guard. Everyone goes back to where they're supposed to be. This is big for them.
What are they gonna do against Bosa and Mac? Somebody explain it to me.
What's Bosa doing? This Chargers defense stinks.
Brett, I can't believe it. You of all people, the Charger guy.
I know. I made all the points against the Jets in a discussion about this game in the Lions Discord today. All the points you made are valid, but this is the Chargers laying north of a field goal on the road.
Be the cap. The Chargers charging can't just be the cap.
It's the Chargers, man. That's the cap. That is the cap.
Staley. Yeah, it's Staley's the cap.
Saleh. Nobody loves a 4th and 2 punt when Ben Baldwin's probability bot tells you it's 3% to go for it, like Robert Saleh.
That just means the score's going to be 17-16 Chargers.
I wish there was something I could do. If the Jets score 2 offensive touchdowns, I wish I could eat a shoe or something. I need some sort of prop bet if the Jets score 2 offensive touchdowns.
Do a shoe bomb at Circa with us. Well, you're going to be gone.
I'll already be.
Loser.
It actually sets up pretty great. Well, because I got to take the kiddo to daycare and stuff on Monday morning. So I'm taking the red eye out, getting him off to school. And the Jets play Monday Night Football and Spurs play Monday Night Football in London. So I get to watch them basically back to back. It's going to be an all-day affair. My second lone wolf, you knew. You absolutely, the whole world knew that I was going to click this team.
Miami and the Dolphins, the greatest football team.
Is the week. All the beaking, all the crowing, they can't beat good teams, they only beat tomato cans, yada, yada, yada. This is the week that the Miami Dolphins go to Germany, Outer Wietzen, and beat the sleepy Kansas City Chiefs, who don't take the regular season seriously. They're just sleeping around. They go to Germany as late as they can, not taking anything seriously. And they're just going to sleepwalk through a game overseas, and the Dolphins are going to beat them. That's just simply what's going to happen. And you guys, like everybody else in this contest, this is going to be one of the top plays this week. 80% of the tickets are on Kansas City. People are going to line up for that lazy narrative that the Dolphins can't beat any good teams, and the Chiefs are going to be top 5 this weekend.
Number one, why is that a lazy narrative when it's true?
Because it's 2 games.
Number 2,
and they were true road games.
Okay, but that's what I thought about the Cowboys against the Steelers. I mean, the 49ers. And what happened? They got trounced. Okay? We just have to cap the game based on the players, and they got trounced. And I just have to give it up on this is the week. And the Steelers absolutely suck, by the way. Wow. How can they be this bad that they can't get pressure or stop Will Levis from getting 9 yards per attempt? Anyway.
Who is this white? Who is this white guy?
I don't know. I don't know what that name is. But isn't this a great matchup for the Chiefs? They love playing teams like Miami. They don't want teams that are going to come pound the rock and play a physical football game against them. They built their defense to stop teams like Miami.
Doesn't Miami want to line up and run the ball? Isn't that Miami's MO?
What are you talking about? What is going to happen?
Everything in Miami's offense is built off the run.
Chris Jones gets into his face.
Well, Tua
is going to happen?
Have already thrown the ball because this snap to throw is so fast.
No. He's going to... All right, go ahead. 3-yard outs. Good luck beating the Chiefs like that.
Why do you think this is
always
a sleepy?
It's not.
Yeah, this is... Dude, they're going to be up for this. They're going to be way up for this.
There's no chance.
Because it's not January.
Still have to make the playoffs.
Until it's January, the Chiefs are just sleepwalking.
This is a huge one. There are home field implications here.
That?
They know they have to win this game.
That?
They don't have to win this. I think of course they do. This is a huge one.
It doesn't matter. You know what they care about. It has nothing to do with that. They want to put it in Tyreek Hill's, stick it in his eye. That's what they want to do.
Also that.
Donnie, just pile on. I'm evidently way wrong on this one.
I mean, Miami's got to show it to us. I don't know what you want us to say.
They
crush the bad teams, and then they go out and look like
Warriors.
morons against the good teams.
This is rule of the Golden State
show
Warriors.
Me. No, this is rule of you're just going to martingale the situation until it eventually happens, and then you're going to stand on top of the table and be like, I was right, guys. Yeah, that's not how this works, okay?
You got me. Walter White. All right, we move on to DP, who is the next highest lone wolf. It is in his top 5. And it is the Cleveland Browns, the aforementioned crappy, good defense, bad offense team. Donnie, I don't care if something Clayton Looney Tunes is at quarterback for the Cardinals. You simply cannot lay 7.5 points with PJ Walker.
Bro. Yeah, I know, but this is the most blatant tanking I've ever seen. I mean, come on. What in the world is this? Clayton Tune? Who is that guy? I saw that. I was like, they're flat out tanking. They are done. They are like, there is no way this is what you roll out as an NFL squad actually trying to compete in a football game. Clayton Tune? I mean, you want to talk about the Jets not scoring a touchdown? How is this guy going to score a touchdown against the Browns D? They're not going to score. They might not score 9 points in this game.
He was with the team since the spring, played in the preseason, mini camp, all that stuff. And everyone in the building looked at each other a week before the season. And they're like, nah, we need to bring somebody in.
No, we got to go get Josh Dobbs, okay? We got to go get Josh Dobbs off the couch to play quarterback because Clayton something Tune can't get the job done.
Clayton Tune, pro-style quarterback out of something Carlton, Texas. How many stars for Clayton Tune?
Agree.
5.6.
5.5.
But I'll give it to you. You're the goat. Mo will never get a star amount wrong. Houston.
Where did he go to school?
Houston.
Offers from, looks like Florida Atlantic, Kansas, Ole Miss, and North Texas. Does anybody, I mean, this is just the spot, right? Like, you just have to click Clayton Tune. You cannot lay 7.5 points. Even you, Brett, even you, the biggest idiot
Ever.
PJ Walker supporter,
Ever.
cannot lay 7.5 with Philip, don't call me PJ Walker.
I knew they weren't going to cover last week. I knew he was going to do something in the fourth quarter, and then he did it. And I was like, shrug. Like that was always in play. So that's what you're going to get with this guy. And yeah, you can't leave 7.5 with this guy ever.
All right.
So I'm not.
That's good enough for me. We'll keep with you, Brett. You and Mo, your Lone Wolves are your absolute last picks. So I need you to bring some gusto. And Brett, you've got a rule of NFC East as the Dallas Cowboys travel to the city of brotherly shove to take on the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are 3-point favorites in this game, and you're the only person on this podcast laying the points with Philly.
I'm not surprised by that because you guys love taking the dog in these NFC East spots, but I can't buy the Cowboys off that win last week. I just can't. Not on the road against the Eagles. I think this line's fair. So I just kind of flipped a coin and landed on Eagles. I think I can't wait to watch this game. I'm glad we're not touching
I think
it on
this
the
is
card.
crazy to have a full field goal here. I mean, this is clearly just 2.5. How can you definitively say that one of these teams is better than the other? I don't know how you can do that because they've both shown their warts. They've both crushed bad teams. They've both played very easy schedules to date. So I don't know how you can definitively say that one team is better than the other, especially when you've got this Hurts injury lingering. There were definitely fewer design runs called last week. The tush push was a disaster. They fumbled at the 1-yard line, and then they ran the fake play to DeAndre Swift. So if that's even lingering or in the conversation, I think that clearly makes Dallas the right side at 3. I think this is a clear money bet play.
That is true.
On Dallas. Might as well just take that instead of taking the 3 points. And I really liked what I saw out of Dallas last week. What that offense was supposed to be. Feeding targets to CeeDee Lamb. That's what this Dallas offense should be. But just stylistically.
I mean,
the plan that they had and the way they executed it, they hadn't done that till then. It really is simple stuff. When you've got a guy as good as CD, give him the ball. Don't waste targets to Turbin or Gallup or any of these hacks. Just feed CeeDee Lamb. Mike McCarthy, you had a front row seat to Aaron Rodgers feeding Devontae Adams. Just do that. It's not that hard. Mo, your partner on Beat the Closing Number, Eli Hershkovitz, very heavy on the Cowboys. You, a little less so, but you're still on Big D.
Yeah, if you made me pick a side, I'm going to take Dallas, which is pretty much what's happening here. I'm being forced to pick one, but no chance I'm putting any money on Dallas unless you give me 3.5. I'm like Brett. I think this line's fair. Dude, we see it every year. Unless this is the week. Is this the week? Because
we can't just
how can it be
like
the week for everybody, Rich?
We can't cap for Chargers chargering and Cowboys cowboying.
That's what I thought. And then I watched Dallas go out and get smacked by the 49ers. Treated like a little...
We've seen it enough. There's enough of a sample size of the Chargers charging and the Cowboys going to Arizona and sucking, okay? There's enough of a sample size for that stuff to happen.
Every time the Cowboys get punched in the mouth, what do? They melt. They melt every time. But I don't trust this Eagles secondary, and I don't trust Jalen Hurts either. So
you can't. You absolutely can't. All right, Mo, your last pick. Bucks at Texans. you got to turn your card in, buddy. You're no longer a Stroud boy.
I want to love the Bucks if you give me 3, and that I think got up to 3 in real life. I don't know, man. This to me is just another one that's just right about where it should be. I think the Texans are slightly better than the Bucks, but is it enough to be laying 3?
It's 2.5. So
I don't feel like it is.
It's 2.5. So,
but yeah, I mean, so that's what I mean. This is like where it should be. Like they can't be laying 3, so they should be laying 2.5. So I'm just like, okay, this line is right, and on to the next one. And yeah, I was a little bit interested in the Bucks if it was 3. Like I looked at Circa and it was 3 this morning, but I guess they're either changing their line at before, or they're just going with more of a market consensus with the contest. I don't really know what their policy is with that sort of thing, but because like when we were discussing possibly putting Thursday night on, I looked at all the Circa lines this morning to see what I thought the contest lines were going to be. So yeah, this is just 2 relatively evenly matched teams, and just I don't want anything to do with it. So whatever, I take the dog in those spots.
Yeah, I'm
when
looking
I don't have
across,
either way.
and I have the highest opinion right at the fold on Houston. So it's not like anybody has them in their top 5 on their card. But in those scenarios, Mo, most times I will lean with the dog. But here, I'm going with the passing offense, and I think that is Stroud at home on the turf as opposed to Baker on the road. So. But absolutely, I don't love it. I'm not like going to bang the table for it. DP, you also had the Texans in the same range as I did. Put a pin on this and the entire Lone Wolf segment.
I mean, just going to keep saying what I've been saying all season long. I don't like the way that this Bucs team plays offense. And on the other side, I like a bounce back here after losing that stupid game last week against the Panthers for the Texans. Like, I feel like they got to do better going at home against
buying
the Bucs
them
team
off
really
of
just
the
not that
Panthers
high
winning their Super Bowl. And then better coach, better quarterback. Most likely. So let's go Texans. I've got the Chargers and the Dolphins. DP's got the Browns. Brett's got the Eagles barely, and Mo's got the Bucks barely. Those are the Lone Wolves. We already gave you the collective pick, but it's time to reveal the rest of the Week 9 card.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fire.
Mo, a perfect 5-0 last week. I was 4-1. The rest of the boys landed a body blow. So we start with you, Moose. Who do we got on the card? This is a consensus pick.
Good. Passing offense. We have 2 bad teams, and we have 1 team that has a decent passing offense. So give me the Commanders +3.
Somebody put a -3 next to Mac Jones in the year 2023 of our Lord.
Listen, hold on. Not only did they put a -3, they put -3.5 for like a couple days this week. This is nonsense. What is this market love for the Patriots? Where is this coming from? Were people baking in that the Washington was going to make a trade? And in fact, they make 2 trades and leave their team weaker. I mean, that's like literally the only thing I can think of. And then somebody had some sense and was like, well, of course, even if we think the Patriots -2.5 isn't enough, well, we have to take Washington +3.5 now. So it goes back to 3. But I feel like that might keep, hopefully, some of the contest off of it for us. I just cannot fathom how the Patriots can be laying any points more than a field goal or more to Washington. These teams are very closely matched, and Washington can actually complete forward passes and get yards down the field with weapons. That's the biggest difference in this game. Look at the weapons. The Patriots lost their best receiver to a torn ACL. What is happening here? They're throwing to something called DeMario
Pop Douglas.
And I'm seeing
something pop.
Cover your
WR1.
ears.
All-pro.
Cover your ears, Mickey Doft, but I'm seeing Jalen Reagor might be starting for the Patriots. If Devontae Parker is out for sure, he's
He's going
starting.
to find somewhere
Undertaker
to land. That's the perfect
GIF.
place.
AF. Brett, you scrunched your face multiple times. You are the lowest on the formerly racial slurs, formerly football team, now commies. Tell us why.
I know what you guys are doing. I get it. Man, you take away the strength of this defense, and what is left for Washington?
But that's one of the greatest parts of the cap, Brett, because I think we're going to get leverage here. I think people are going to see that Sweat is gone and Chase is gone. This team sucks. Washington sucks. They just lost by a touchdown. Everything Ron Rivera does stinks. Sam Howell turns the ball over. Bill Belichick voodoo. Belichick, capping like Mo. And I think we might get a sneaky little bit of leverage.
I know, and that's why I said it. Like, I get what you guys are doing, but why can't Mac Jones pick apart this defense? He picked apart the Bills. This was one of the worst pass defense in the NFL with
Why
Sweat.
can't oil mix with water? I don't know. It's just
matters?
a chemical imbalance. It's not possible.
That's my concern, is that this Washington team is just cooked completely.
But that's the other thing. You have a Washington defense that is, the secondary is a disaster. But who's going to beat them for this team?
Pop Douglas.
Go Douglas! I have no answer.
Donnie is shaking his head, so that makes me feel
Donnie,
good.
what have they been saying? I know you've been tuned in all week.
Go Douglas. Like what?
I know what you've been listening.
They're all talking about Douglas, how Douglas is great. Yeah, Douglas is great as like the number 4th option, maybe. Not the number 1. Okay, not happening.
They're not even murmurs about the Patriots anymore. Now that the Celtics season is kicked off and they're dropping 160 on people's heads, nobody is talking about the Patriots.
Well, the
Celtics
murmurs
are gonna
now
go
are should they bring
82-0.
Josh McDaniels
Well,
back?
to do what?
Exactly. I don't know. But you know Bill Belichick, he loves those guys who are getting paid by other teams. I think McDaniels has like 4.5 years left on this insane contract from the Raiders. So he'd just be
He
free.
loves to bring his bums back. There was I think it was an SI. There was a story before the season about how Belichick said he's done training coaches. He didn't like outright say it as a quote, but like he doesn't want to train any more coaches. And that's one of the reasons why they have such a small staff and it's just all Belichick retreads that just keep coming back because he just wants to keep everything. Either you're related to Bill Belichick or you've previously coached with Bill Belichick. Those are the only people that are even allowed in the building. I'm up next, 4-1, and I've taken. There's no turning back, no tinkering, no backpedaling. The Dallas Cowboys against those Philadelphia Eagles. Let's get Jalen Hurts in a negative script. Let's feed the ball to CeeDee Lamb. Let's go Cowboys.
I forgot we had the Cowboys. I
Since
forgot.
you're in Vegas, you don't have any excuses not to be putting in actual football bets.
Can't wait.
What you have to do is you have to bet Dallas to win the division if you think they're going to win this game. Because that is a better price, and they're going to be in the driver's seat absolutely if they win
It's
this
a
game.
good take from Mr. Noir, the ultimate money bet line. We move to Brett, who didn't want to take the Seahawks because of injury concerns, so has this team instead.
Go Pack, go.
Bump, 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 banana. Go, Rippin', go. Please. Even if it
Honestly,
is
I don't know
Stafford.
who I want. I don't know
Yeah.
what's better for us. If it's a Rippin or Stafford.
I mean, Stafford, and the line comes down a little bit, and we get some leverage.
Oh, that would be nice.
I see the,
I like
I see the devil path
I like that.
in that. Donnie, this is my least favorite pick. Congratulations. You and Mo love it. I do not like it.
Yeah, we got the Bills. Play the music.
Bills make me wanna.
This is less than
go.
half, I think.
I don't like.
This is definitely, of all the picks, this is the one that will for sure have leverage.
I've said many things on this podcast, many of which has probably gone through one ear and out the other for the listeners. But if there's one thing I want you to remember and keep with you for the rest of time, listeners, is that Joe Burrow is the new coin. And the coin is always going to come up Burrow. There's going to be spooky shit. There's going to be weird caroms. I said this last year. I stubbornly banged my head against the wall and bet against Tom Brady for an entire generation. And I'm not going to do it with Joe Burrow. I'm going to just ride the wave. I'm going to have the coin land my way. And I think it continues in this spot. I hope not, though. Let's go, Buffalo. You know the collective pick. We're sweating it right now. We're currently losing. The Titans are winning outright, 13-10. It's not been an enjoyable watch thus far. I mean, Will Levis is literally Russell Wilson. He is the white Russell Wilson. I've seen the worst plays imaginable, and then I just see him make 20-yard plays. He's going to have an EPA of 0.8 and a success rate of 30%.
He almost just gave us one.
He's going to give us. There's going to be one.
That was almost a pick six.
No. Here it is. Drops back, looks left. Ay. I'm feeling good. He's going to give us one.
I'm not.
There are two, before we get to Survivor, there are two consensus picks that did not make the card. So let's discuss them real quick. The first one is the game that we were planning on going to, and maybe an outside shot that we'll go to. It's Giants at Raiders. The Raiders got rid of everybody. Head coach, OC, GM, Jimmy G's sitting his ass down for AOC. They bring in, who's the Giants linebacker that's their head coach that gave that stupid fiery Armstrong?
Antonio Pierce.
Just going out there doing his best Dan Campbell impersonation, biting kneecaps.
I think he got evicted from the building from ASU for multiple. I don't quote me on this. I don't want to get sued for libel or whatever, slander or whatever they hit me with here, but I think he broke multiple NCAA rules and was ousted immediately from ASU or something.
He was their defensive coordinator. I see resigns amid NCAA investigation. So it was alleged that things happened with Antonio Pierce. Isn't this just a spot though? This Raiders team, they're free from Jimmy G. They're free from this idiot McDaniels. They just get to go out there and play some football. Devontae Adams is going to have 30 targets in this game. AOC's just going to funnel them to him. And you just have this stupid Giants team coming in. Daniel Jones, according to Dayball, 2 weeks ago, Jones was iffy about playing at any point for the rest of the season. Now he's just going to play football with a wrecked neck because they can't go to DeVito. They just physically can't put something called DeVito at quarterback. So we're one crunching tackle away from DeVito just going in there anyway. This is a disaster spot for the Giants. And yet, none of us could have that much conviction on the Vegas Raiders.
Because it's something O'Connell. What?
Don't lay points with bad teams.
Sure. Who was the highest? DP, the highest on your hometown Vegas Raiders.
I mean, you said everything that needs to be said. I feel like they're going to be just free. They're going to be let's go. We don't got to deal with this idiot head coach. If I'm Devontae Adams, how good do you feel? I mean, the guy was playing pickup basketball in the freaking locker room today against your boy, Mo Abdullah, out there. I mean, if that's not a mismatch on the basketball court, I don't know what is. Isn't Abdullah 4'2"? But, I mean, yeah, I don't know. You have, no Darren Waller for the Giants. I have no idea what to expect with Daniel Jones. Like Rich said, is he going to be good? Is he going to be at risk? Is he going to be playing scared because he's at risk? I don't know what to expect there. I kind of felt like Tyrod Taylor was doing better with the offense than Daniel Jones was. Now you got a Daniel Jones coming in with this neck injury, going up against the freak Max Crosby. What? This just seems like this is going to be... It's going to be one of the... I can already see what's going to happen. We're going to be on... Well, we're talking about the Raiders. We're not officially on them, but the Raiders are going to win, probably cover pretty easily, and then we're just going to have to max fade them whatever the next game is. That's what happens in this spot. That's the spot. It's a 2-week play. That's what this is.
Devontae, the only time Devontae is going to be happier is in March when he's house shopping in Montclair, New Jersey, to be Aaron Rodgers' neighbor.
I mean, if you saw any of the all-22 or film from above of the last game, he was open on every. He should have had
multiple 60-yard touchdowns. It was a joke. The other consensus game is a sounder game as the Minnesota Vikings travel to Atlanta to take on the Falcons, and once again, DP was the highest on this game, on the Atlanta Falcons, and it's just something Jaren Hall playing quarterback.
Who's this guy?
Mo, who's something Hall?
You could put Clayton Tune and Jaren Hall and somebody else next to each other. I have no idea who these people are.
I got nothing on him. I don't know if I watched a snap of BYU last year. He was a 5th rounder out of BYU. I assume he's god awful. I think he's more of an athlete than a thrower.
Dual threat quarterback,
honest, so.
Class of 2016 from Mapleton, Utah. Mo, Jaren Hall. How many stars?
3, right?
What's the number?
Ugh, I'm going to go 5.6 with this one.
5.73 star. Brutal.
Wow. BYU usually gets okay recruits, I think.
Offers from Brigham Young, Utah, Arkansas, and that's it. Yeah. Had a visit at Baylor. The only thing that worries me about this, well, there's a lot of things, because Arthur Smith is an idiot. So that's chief amongst the worries. But the other one is what Mo just alluded to with him being dual threat. Like, he runs. So there's this just added question mark of, what if this guy just scampers a couple of times and makes some things happen? Like, that's what you kind of need to do. We always talk about when backups get in there. You know, there's 2 types of backups. There's the backup, the DeVito, that just turtles, and there's just nothing. There's just absolutely nothing happening. And there's situations where that works when you have a really good team and you need to protect leads and have a good defense. And then you have the guy who's an absolute wild card, your Minshews of the world, who are going to go out there and play like their hair's on fire. And sometimes you need that when you need to score a bunch of points or come back in a scenario. So that could be the case here. But none of us had enough conviction on Atlanta to get this high enough. Oh my God.
It's okay.
You're an asshole. Oh, flag.
It's not
It is
okay.
Because we got a flag.
No, but all I want to say about this game is, at first I was like kind of excited to fade the Vikings because of something Hall. But then the more I started thinking about it, the more I started thinking about laying points with this Falcon team. It just makes me ill. It really does. Like,
they're going to be popular. They're going to be so popular.
Yeah.
Because people are going to fall in love with Heineken. Like, he's anything but a bad quarterback. And they're going to want to fade Hall. So the Falcons
Can't be worse than
the
Desmond
Falcons.
Ridder, bro.
Well, that's not a high bar to clear.
yeah, but that's been my hot take all year. Was that I said
Yeah, but I
that
think
for
that's
literally
everybody's
preseason.
I think
that
everybody
Taylor
has
Heineke's
that
the best
take.
quarterback on the roster.
So yeah, I think they're going to be super popular.
Yeah, literally everyone. How much worse can Heineken be than Ridder?
Yeah.
Can't be any
The
worse.
Drake London injury has me nervous because with Heineken under center, this team can actually toss the rock downfield with Heineken, but without London, my confidence in this offense diminishes quite a bit.
All right, let's talk Survivor. Mo, you write one of the most popular Survivor columns on the entire internet for thelines.com. Where should people be going this week? What's the chalk? Should we avoid it? Give us the lowdown.
Well, I think Brett and I both are in agreement that Cleveland is going to be very popular, and nobody should click on Cleveland because anything can happen in a game where PJ Walker is the quarterback.
Going chalk when it's Philip, don't call me PJ Walker.
God.
Yeah, you can't do it, right,
No.
Brett?
And I think they're one of the worst plays on the board this week.
Like, are you, listener, sit back. I don't want you to close your eyes because you might be driving. But just think about it. Would you be shocked if the Cleveland Browns lost a football game this Sunday? I know it's Arizona. I know it's something Clayton Looney Tunes. But it's Philip, don't call me PJ Walker. The shotgun could be pointed right down and his balls could be splattered around the turf.
And half of your pool is going to line up to take PJ Walker. And they could lose. So you can't click Cleveland here. You just can't.
No, New Orleans is going to be the other super chalk. I get it because of everything we already talked about. But like Brett's with me on this one too. We kind of like pivoting to Atlanta. I mean, Or Brett even likes Green Bay.
I love Green Bay. I was gonna go Atlanta until this Drake London news came out. That makes me queasy that he's not gonna play, or if he's not gonna play. If he does practice tomorrow, I definitely will have an Atlanta entry. But I kind of I keep leaning Green Bay right now. I just love this spot for them.
Should just grow a pair and pick the Raiders.
Yeah, we're not doing that. If I have a pair, I'm taking the Cardinals. But I'm not. I don't think I have to do that this week.
Everybody out there within the sound of my voice, please take the Los Angeles Chargers. Because there's absolutely no way in hell that the Jets win this game.
I wish we were sticking
let
around
me
to
ask
watch
you,
this
Rich,
game with you.
would you be shocked if the Chargers lost that game?
Dude.
What? Why would you be shocked? They're laying 3.5 on the road.
Every single snap.
After blowing doors last week against a horrible team, quarterbacked by a guy who's popular because his dad was the best arm wrestler in the world. Okay? That is a true story.
I've watched every single snap of the Jets-Eagles and Jets-Giants games where their opponents were 99.99999% to win. This is a house of cards, and it is ready to absolutely tumble. We are going to have a national discussion about Trevor Siemian being the quarterback of the New York Jets on Tuesday. I promise you. I promise you it's going to happen.
I cannot count the number of times the Chargers have been 99.999% to win and absolutely blown it, okay? Every year, multiple times. Just like spots
For what it's worth,
like
I think the Chargers are a fine
Just
play
like
survivor this week. Because as long as you're fading the Browns, and I think you can probably fade the Saints too. Like any one of these, Chargers, Falcons, Packers, they're good plays.
Okay,
So,
people have made it
go
this
for it.
far. Do we live sweat this red zone drive for the Steelers on air?
No, I have to pack my bags, which is a backpack, by the
same.
way, and go meet you guys
All right.
in Las
Okay.
Vegas.
Follow these guys on Twitter.
Except for you,
at
Brett.
Brett Colson.
Godspeed. I
COLL.
love you.
SON.
Please protect yourself.
_Peters. What does that even mean? And at Monowara, NUWWARAH. I'm at Rich T. Ryan. Let's go, Steelers. We need Yins to win this game. Peace. First down. Out.